All right, guys, welcome back for another amazing video. Today we are going to be installing an ignition switch so I don't have to have the key in here anymore. And so if you guys want to know how I've gotten to this point already, go ahead and check out this steering wheel install, and then that'll kind of go over it. As far as getting these off, you will have, so there's a bolt here to pull it off and a bolt here that takes off the cover. And then this one I just kind of yanked out because there's no way to really get to that one. So you can break it or whatever you want to do. Then once you get that off, you got to undo this bolt, that bolt, that bolt, and that bolt. And then this gauge cluster will start coming off. I'll detach from that, and then you'll have this sensor, and this sensor to take off. So now what we're doing to get this off is I've got just a chisel that came in my little Walmart drill set. And we're gonna be hitting this just that way, and it just turns the nut. So take a hammer in this and hit it just right like that, and then that nut will start to turn for you. Okay guys, so just kind of a closer look so you guys can see them as I've been hitting them from an angle. What happens is when the factory makes these, they cut the heads off so that the ignition and everything can't just be stolen off of it. And so it does definitely take some time to get this piece off. But once you have this off, then you will no longer have an ignition lock. So your wheels will not lock up without the key, which is one of my purposes of doing this, as well as adding in that right there where that stereo is where I'm going to be adding my ignition switches and everything like that. And so this is what you should look like after this. And yes, it is pretty rusted, but when I do fully decide to strip this, I'll just sand all that rust and everything down, and we'll be okay. So now that we're here, there's this bolt right here that pulls the actual ignition module off, and this is your ignition lock with everything on it. So we're gonna go ahead and unhook those wires and hook this from up here, and then I'll start teaching you guys kind of on how to wire this. So go ahead and remove that bolt. Okay, so to better explain this, so I took the white wire that's underneath the dash, and I cut all these off back there, by the way, and then stripped them. So then I took this wire and I ran a wire to the back here for power, and I ran it to the bottom, and I ran another wire for here to power the rest of the accessories. And I ran the power from here to here to here to here and back to here. And I just looped it all the way around. And you're gonna end up doing 2 wires on here. So on the back of it, there's gonna be one on the side that shows 12 volt and then one on the top that says 3. Those are where I put it. Your ignition wire I put on 4, which is straight across from 3, and that's what actually starts your car. Those accessories I put each on individually here to make sure that all 3 of these had to be on for my car to start. However, to shut it off, you only have to shut this one off because that shuts off the ECU. Now to kind of show you guys my wiring, I took a lot of time in making sure it looked as good as possible. And so we're gonna try and lift this up so you guys can see it. So this blue wire that's right here is my main power. And then let's get that one out of the way. This red one is my power that runs to all the other switches. Then this one is a ground that I've got ground right in between there. And then right above this, right there is my power. So then from that power, then I have my other power that comes in right here, right onto the top of the block. And then I have my ignition wire, which is right here, that comes into 4. So hot wire in 3, ignition wire in 4. And then I put my accessories on the bottom to power everything else. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys, just so you guys aren't as confused as I am. Now, the one that gets tricky is if you decide to do all this stuff up here. I just looped a hot wire from this very bottom wire, which is my main hot wire, and looped it all up through these switches. And then I ran them to the accessories they needed to. If you decide to do the horn has to be grounded out for the horn to actually work. So you don't run a hot wire to the horn button. You run, the horn button is gonna be already hot. You've got to actually run a ground and then a hot, so then when you push the button, it actually honks the horn. So I really hope that helped you guys and made a lot more sense than some of the videos that I watched, because I wish I could physically have saw it, but not a lot of videos out there that physically show you. And then I'll also draw you guys up kind of a diagram. All right guys, so now to start it up, make sure it's on. This is on. These are all on. Then go and fire up. And she starts. And then horn. Turn signal. Other turn signal. This one is my brights. This one is my, oh no, sorry, that one's my low beams, this one's my brights. Bada boom. Even sound, you know what to do. Go ahead and like and subscribe and stay tuned. And